Ahead of the release of the Fantastic Four First Steps, the Collegiate staff held a roundtable discussing our thoughts and predictions for the movie. Now that it has come out, we return to the table for another discussion. In the latest edition of The Collegiate is Obsessed with the Fantastic Four First Steps, sports writer Jared DeBasin and I both watched the movie, and we both really liked it, and we're going to talk about it thusly.
Well, that movie was amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to say, this year for superhero movies has been amazing.
And specifically for superhero movies that don't feel like what we've been getting.
Right.
Because I think
they're new.
For a while, both the MCU and the DCEU fell into very similar tropes.
Yeah.
And so all superhero movies started to kind of feel the same. And I think that's where that superhero fatigue idea came from.
Yeah.
And this year specifically has created a lot of superhero films that don't feel like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're different. They don't follow the same like full story as like every other superhero movie.
And they have color in them.
They have color. They have there's saturation. There's
saturation.
There's so much more to the new superhero movies this year, and you could tell, like, I think Marvel's gonna get a lot better with their superhero movies, considering that it's just this one, and then there's 2 more movies until Doomsday.
I think so. And there have been
next one is 2020. I think next one is Spider-Man in 2026.
There's been some set photos from that. There's they're doing practical web swimming again, which I don't think they've done since Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man. John Watts, who directed the first Tom Holland trilogy, was famously against practical swimming, which I understand. Sort of hard to make that look good, but looks really good if you get it right.
And I think they'll get it right.
Well, and the new suit looks really good.
The new suit
looks intentionally low budget.
Yeah,
like there were a lot of people commenting on the movie, like, it looks like it was from Walmart. I'm like, I mean, kind of.
I liked the web. It's not too high up.
Yeah,
I like the blue. Obviously, they took he clearly in this movie not in this movie, in the new Spider-Man movie. We're getting a little off track, but they made the suit made it seem like Tom Holland's Spider-Man took like different parts of the previous Spider-Man,
it's clearly
the previous
inspired
Peter
by both of them.
Parkers, and combined them into the lenses. I'm so glad they kept the lenses, because they add personality, and people don't realize that.
Well, and I love how clearly different it is from his previous suit, because that was made by the Stark Company, and
this is
Stark Industries. I know what I'm talking about. But like, you can tell the difference. I mean, even though the web shooters are different, because he doesn't have the Stark web shooters anymore, so it's just like a little thing on the side of his wrist instead of this giant gauntlet.
This is the last time he made his own suit was the homemade Spider-Man suit,
right? And that was just like a hoodie.
Yeah, exactly.
So
this has his own personality. I appreciate it.
This wave of comic book movies feels like comic book movies.
Yes.
I think for a while we sort of fell into making superhero movies that were based on what the MCU did. And the MCU was remarkable.
Yeah.
And did become, I think, less and less comic booky as they were going. But they found a way to make that work. But even they, I think, eventually lost that. I think when they started over after Endgame, it was like, well, I think nobody could do what the MCU did, including the MCU, when they tried to do it again.
Yeah.
And so I think we've had enough of those fail that we're starting to say, okay, what if we don't try to do the MCU again?
Just go in a slightly different direction.
We just make a comic book movie. And I think like the new DCU with James Gunn, he said it's not going to be the MCU. It's going to be more, it's going to be not fully connected like that. There are going to be it's a universe, but we're not building towards a new movie every year. And I think that what that allows is, especially like what we've seen with the Fantastic Four movie, by creating movies that have a right to exist on their own. They exist on their own, and they can have unique viewpoints. They're
good solo movies that can connect to a bigger point, but they're good solo movies that you could just watch at any time and be like, awesome, I enjoyed that movie, and I'll watch it again. Yeah. That being said, Fantastic Four,
so good.
I want to point out, I think my favorite character in that movie, even though didn't have a lot of screen time, was the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
The scenes, I don't know, I don't want to go into too much detail in case people haven't seen it, but like the scene in outer space with Silver Surfer was amazing.
Yes.
Like, how are you flying on that?
Yeah, that was insane.
Like, I think she's the best Silver Surfer. I think she's better than what's his name from the Rise of Silver Surfer.
Now that you've asked, I'm gonna forget it.
Yeah, but I think she's better. I think she played a better Silver Surfer than he did.
It was a very interesting characterization. We were talking about this earlier off there. It didn't feel like particularly menacing
No.
role. She was just kind of there.
She was there, but like when she showed up, you could see it. You could
Right.
feel like the power
Well,
in her.
and I think having power and using it in an evil-ish way without being a particularly evil
person.
personality,
Yeah.
it makes you, I think, almost scarier because it's like she's just sort of like, hey, I'm here, and your planet's gonna die. Bye. So, what do you mean? Like, I'd be.
Yeah, exactly.
So I really like the understated personality. But honestly, both her and Galactus had very understated personalities
Yes.
that allowed them to be more menacing because you didn't know enough about them to be not scared of
Yeah,
them.
and I loved how like you could see it. The relationship between Johnny Storm and her like grew throughout the entire movie.
Is there a comic book? Is there a comic book precedent for that?
I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to go look, but like you could just see that like. Obviously, like Johnny Storm made some of the jokes that he made at the beginning of the movie, which were kind of pretty funny. Saying, "I had a moment," that was funny.
Yes,
but like you tell, like he like understood her more.
Yeah,
and she became more vulnerable to him as the movie went on.
well, and that was eventually. I don't want to spoil anything, but is what allowed the end of the movie to happen. Is the fact that he understood her and made an attempt to connect with her when no one else did.
Exactly. I felt like I'm glad there wasn't really there was a backstory, but not an actual like origin story of Fantastic
Yeah, it was like
Four.
that one like sort of here's the exposition in a newsreel at the beginning, and that was it.
It's like, hey, they went to space. This happened.
No, they have
They're back
powers.
here now. 4 years later, or whatever, however long it was. This is where we are.
I mean, it doesn't really matter as long as you know they have powers. They're superheroes. The world likes them. You'll learn everything else about them that you need to know. By how they interact with other people, whether it's other members of the family, the public, how they respond in crises. I think that we learned what we really needed to know about them through seeing them interact, and then we just had to find out a couple of key details about how we got here, and that's it.
Yeah. Which, speaking of how they interact, I love that these guys gelled as a family. It felt like they were just a family.
And they didn't even do like chemistry reads or anything. They cast all the characters individually, and they just happened to get along that well.
And they happened to get along really well. And not only that, if you like I don't know if you paid attention to this throughout the movie, but like each character had its own moment with a separate character.
Yeah.
So like Johnny Storm had its own separate moment with Reed and the Thing and Sue and it.
Yeah, it wasn't just the family.
Yeah,
it was a network.
They
of
all had
characters.
their own individual moments with each other, which I loved. I love that they did that.
You know what else I love?
What?
Sweaters. This
Oh my
movie
gosh.
had a lot of really good sweaters.
They did have good sweaters.
I was writing a review and I was like, "That's a cool sweater. Oh, that's a cool sweater." There are a lot of how many sweaters from this movie? I wish I kept track of how many,
Right?
but there were so many of them, and they're all really good. And I recognize that was part of the fashion of the era. It is just like I don't think we've gotten this many good MCU sweaters before.
Right.
And I'm glad that there's this subgenre of good MCU sweaters.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean the costumes overall were very.
The costumes were. I like the costumes.
It matched the era. It matched the sort of slightly heightened tone, but it matched every character. They had their own distinct style within that realm.
Right.
And I think even in the current normal MCU, I guess is what you call it, a lot of characters feel like they're wearing the MCU costume.
Yeah.
Where there's like one thing that superheroes can wear, and there's not all the same, but count the number of times that a superhero goes undercover by wearing a baseball cap and a pair of sunglasses, which is not just an
like a
MCU
jacket.
cliche.
Like,
it's not just an MCU
guys,
cliche, but like.
That's the most like normal undercut. Like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, if I'm walking like the city of New York or something like that, and I see a guy like walking with his head down with a cap on, sunglasses, and a freaking
he looks very
trench coat, I'm gonna be like, "What are you up to, dude?"
What you really should have done is just wear glasses and go become a reporter.
Oh, huh?
You wear glasses?
No, I should. I shouldn't actually. I have 20/20 vision. I'm fine.
Okay, listen. Just because some of us have wear contacts to be able to see this far ahead of us doesn't mean you need to brag about it. All right.
Oh,
that was the Superman joke.
Yes,
because reporter and the but then the
the hypno glasses.
yeah. I'm assuming that was just a joke. My headcanon is that
Well,
that
it
was
is
what
comic accurate, though. That's the thing.
but I don't think we should. Just because it's comic accurate doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
And so my headcanon is that's what Superman told Guy Gardner, and then he believed it as a joke.
funny.
But then he believed him, and they keep saying it now.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's not actually what they're going with, because it's not about the glasses. It's about the fact that he transforms with the glasses. Just his hiding enough of his face. But, But all this to say, yeah. Well, and actually, specifically, I like the fact that these people didn't have secret identities.
No, exactly.
A lot of MCU heroes don't. I think
I've
Peter
noticed
Parker's
that.
pretty much the only one to have a secret identity.
And
now.
I think it's because it just like makes them feel more, like, not necessarily human in the sense, but like normalized.
Right.
Like citizens can like feel a little more connected to him because they'd be
Sure.
like, oh, we know who this guy is.
Mm-hmm.
We can just like. He's just a normal person.
Well,
unless you're a mutant, of course.
And a public that likes the superheroes, because I feel like
Yeah.
short of the end of a movie, the closest that the MCU gets to a public that likes superheroes is they're fine, right?
Yeah.
Like they're fine, then the superheroes do something, and the public hates them, and then by the end they love them again, and then by the next movie they reset to being fine.
Yeah.
And so I liked the fact that these superheroes were loved by the community.
Yeah,
Like,
for the most part,
Johnny
they're-
Storm had a billboard in Times Square. Like, they were beloved.
Yeah, there was a little part during the movie where they,
But then they got through that.
Which, by the way, why? My question is, why did Reed Richards say what he did?
At the press conference?
Yes, like why? Why would you do that? Just say you tried to do whatever with Galactus and it didn't work. Like, why did you have to say the reason why it didn't work?
I think that is a critical point of his character. That was he's not good enough at being a public persona.
Yeah, no. They should just have Sue do all the talking.
Her speech was really good.
Yeah, her speech was amazing.
And like actually good. It wasn't just like it worked for the characters in the movie. Like it would have worked on me. Like sure, I'm aboard.
Yeah.
And I believed that these people changed their minds entirely with one single speech, which is kind of ridiculous. But
and I understand why Reed said what he said, because if I was in that situation, I would do the same. Like
Sure.
I wouldn't give up what I had to give, like what I was asked to give up.
And
like,
I think,
no way.
And I think that in his mind, that was an obvious choice to make. Like, obviously, I'm not going to do that, because there were conversations like, he's worked through that. He understands the statistics. So in his mind, it's not even like a moral choice. It's just, well, that's not what we're going to do.
Right.
And I don't think it even really occurred to him in that moment, at least, that would have been a controversial thing for him to say.
Right. What gets me though is like, obviously he made that decision, right? But then later on in the movie, he makes another decision, which was even more controversial.
I mean, I feel like Sue makes the decision and has to convince him that, like, listen, we both know what we got to do. That scene at the end where, like, she figures it out and figures out that he's figured it out.
Yeah.
And so they're both trying to convince each other about it.
Yeah. She looked at him and she's like, he already made up. Like, he already knows. Like, he's already thinking this.
He knows it's the only option, but he's not willing to say it. He's going to have to come up with some other solution.
Yeah.
But she knows there's not another solution.
That's why he was like, no.
Yeah. So she's trying to convince him to do it. He's trying to convince him not to do it.
Yeah.
And then, you got Johnny and the thing over there being like, hey, no.
We're not doing
That was a really good scene, because their characters all sort of coalesced, and that there's specific arcs sort of all lined up in that one moment.
And they conflicted, but at the same, like, it felt like a family argument and a family debate.
Because then they all agreed. Like, they made the decision, and it wasn't like they spent the rest of the movie arguing about it. They moved on.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Franklin was my favorite character. I know you said yours was whichever. Mine is Franklin.
Yeah.
He's very cute.
He is
Also Herbie. The scene where Herbie is like playing with Franklin, that was my favorite scene.
Yes.
That was really nice.
Where Herbie was building the crib. It was like,
I'm this close to buying a Herbie sweater. Disney sells a Herbie sweater.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh, I might buy one.
Hold on, wait.
You'll have to put up a picture. But
I was gonna show you.
Oh, that's fine. But no, like, oh, that's dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna buy this immediately.
I might buy that my next paycheck. That's amazing.
$30 is too much for a T-shirt, but for Herbie.
For Herbie. No, this scene. So
he should be the new mascot for GRCC.
Yeah, right.
The GRCC Herbies.
Herbies.
All right, maybe not.
No, so I mean it's a scene. I'm not gonna count it as a spoiler, but the scene where Herbie is building the crib.
Oh, yeah.
And Sue like watches
when
like,
sees him, like-
aren't you supposed to be building the crib? It's like a pinnacle moment in fatherhood that you're
He's like,
supposed
listen,
to be building the crib.
anybody can build a crib. I gotta go do science.
Yeah, I gotta go do science stuff.
Speaking
Herbie
of which,
can build a big crib.
I would unironically watch that Fantastic Science show that he hosts on ABC.
Right?
If Disney Plus made that, I would watch it. Because that was basically just like Bill Nye, but in the 60s and with Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, I haven't liked the shows recently, but like if they did one of those little like 5-episode specials, like that special series like they did with like the What If stuff, I'd watch it.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty good.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what they do with these characters moving forward when they're in.
Yeah, obviously
continuity?
the next time we see them is Avengers Doomsday.
Allegedly.
That's
possible.
what they said.
It's possible they'll show up in Spider-Man. Unlikely, but it's
not,
possible.
Okay, it's okay. It's not this is not a spoiler for an end credit scene, but literally at the end of the movie, all they said was Fantastic Four will be in Avengers Doomsday.
Oh, that's true.
We don't know how much. We don't know what their role is. I've seen some chatter online that Reed Richards is no longer like one of the lead roles, but I don't believe that. I don't know if that's true.
Allegedly,
because
he was
it's from,
going
like,
to be
third-party Instagram things,
Right.
but I've seen it like 20 different times from different things. So,
But
I
are they
haven't looked
just
too
getting
deep
that
into
information
it.
from each other?
I'm honestly on the
know.
boat like what I was with before, with all the movies leading up to Endgame, where I'm like, I don't want to dive deep into these spoilers. I don't want to dive deep into this stuff. I just want to like sit back, wait, and let it come.
Yeah, I'm glad that I didn't know anything more about this movie than I did because it surprised me in all the best ways.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that they continue to do that both with these characters and with the rest of the MCU. It seems like they're on a path. If they can keep this, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but like obviously at the end of Thunderbolts, that end credit scene with the ship, we still technically don't know who's on that ship.
That right. We don't know if it's
don't know.
how. I was kind of expecting for that to be wrapped up in this movie, and it wasn't.
Yeah, but we have speculation with the end credit scene.
Right. Yeah. So there's lots of ways those can
not
connect.
talk about, but
This is a spoiler-free zone.
yeah, like that end credit scene, even though it was short,
I liked that it was
liked
short.
it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
There's someone made
It was
an AI. Someone made an AI version of that.
Yeah,
that, like
I
it
saw
had the
that.
reverse shot and showed one. I'm like, not only is AI terrible and garbage, and not only does that look terrible, also why would you want that? Like the scene was better before you added more
and
over talking.
you also already know that characters in that scene.
Right.
Right. So like seeing that scene gave me a couple theories, which I'll talk about maybe months from now when Fantastic Four has been out for so long.
Sure.
Like, but no, like this movie was fun.
Yeah.
The best part about obviously the setting of this movie, I love the 60s, the futuristic 60s.
The retro-futuristic,
Like
hopeful.
I loved how like the screens in New York City,
The
they
Times
weren't
Square analog
flat
displays.
screens. They were the old like TV screens, but huge.
And the thing is, giant analog displays should look ridiculous, but they
Yes.
looked
Normal?
really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wait a minute. That doesn't
You're
make
like-
any sense. About halfway through the movie, but I
You're
finally
like-
realized.
Makes sense, you know. It's
Yeah.
like pretty normal. You're just like that's kind of funny that they didn't like progress technologically
Right.
wise and make them things.
Yeah.
Make TVs thinner. They just
They
enlarged
could
the
have been a
analog
giant
TVs.
analog TV, but they couldn't have been a flat screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the most like 60s retro futuristic thing ever.
Exactly.
It felt like a very optimistic movie.
Yeah.
Even when things were terrible, there was still
You're
always
like,
hope that things
these
would get
guys-
better.
Yeah. No, keep them like the old 60s things. What Johnny was doing throughout the entire movie with the records.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was brilliant.
I can't believe no one's
from
ever thought of that before.
It was literally, and I love that it was literally from the start till near the end.
Yeah.
And it was just a whole progression thing. And he learned it by himself. He
Yeah,
did it
which
all
is
by
insane.
himself.
Yeah.
Like he felt more useful in this movie than I think in any other Fantastic
for
Four
sure.
movie. Like they actually like didn't just number one, obviously he still had that comic accurate kind of like Playboy type.
Yeah. But that's, I think, part of what
That's-
makes him a complicated character.
Yeah, like he's not like they showed it in this movie that he's not just a pretty face.
Right.
No, he's a good looking actor for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Like, but like he's not just a pretty face. Like
Right.
he's intelligent. He's smart.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was going in, I was expecting a lot, and I think if more than I was hoping for. So the questions were just, will I be able to keep that up, or will I be disappointed immediately?
Yeah. Also, I don't the not necessarily villain, but like the one or mole man, right? Is that his name? No, it's the mole or whatever the character at the start, but then he became really useful. It was like when they were doing like when they were like showing like the history over the last 4 years of the Fantastic Four, guy, who they defeated, that defeated that guy, how like there's like, oh, he's just a minor character, and then all of a sudden towards the end they're like, okay, you're really important now.
Yeah,
we need you. I love that too. That was really good. Like they didn't need to do that.
Yeah,
I loved Reed Richards' first plan. That was smart.
Yeah, it was really smart, and also I was like, are we really gonna do this? Is this how they're gonna wrap the movie up? And I was like, is this gonna work? I genuinely don't know.
So like that whole thing gave me the theory. I was like, okay, maybe this.
Oh, is that how they're gonna end up?
I was like, maybe this is how they're gonna end up in the universe that it will eventually be, right? I was like, but if this is how like the movie ends, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel.
I was like, there's more movie left. How are we gonna?
Yeah, I was like,
so this plan isn't gonna work, right? And I was like, oh, okay.
Like it's like you could tell, like you're like, okay, this plan, something's gonna go wrong,
right?
You know,
but it still felt like it might work.
But you're like, you're like, okay, I can see how this is gonna turn into like the future MCU movies. Yeah. What else? I had one other thing. Oh, so Galactus. Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of chatter about this online about how like when Galactus finally reached Earth, how he looked quote unquote smaller than normal.
I mean, I guess comparatively,
because and like what people like didn't realize is like he's still feeding, so he's not as big as he like in normal comics. But like, I kind of like made me mad. I was like, guys, do you not,
I really liked how they used this scale of the city.
Yeah,
like, he looked really big.
He did,
and obviously not as big as Galactus,
big.
but like they did a really good job making him feel just massive. And I liked all the times you could just like see like you could barely see his shoulder, and then you could see past it to whatever. Yep. And so it's just like he's filling the frame with like his elbow.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was like in scale wise, he was big.
Yeah,
right. He wasn't just like a Thanos level.
And he's
like,
still around, technically.
Yeah, he's still around. He's somewhere.
Yeah.
That I don't know how I feel about that end fight scene. I love that they were all able to work together towards the end. I saw that like obviously we all know like Sue Storm, when she needs to be, is one of the most powerful heroes like
that was
ever.
Insane.
Yeah. And on top of that, just like we all know of like that mother strength, you know, like when you see your kid in danger, like if you're a mother, you see that your kid in danger, you just like get this huge adrenaline push, like it's steroids. You just become so strong. I love that they implemented that in this movie. I can't say how, but like we obviously, you and I know how. I thought they did a really good job with that too.
Yeah, yeah, there was a lot of thought and care put into every element of this film.
Yes,
so it all coalesced to become greater than some of its parts in a way that I don't think we've seen, especially not with a superhero movie in a long time.
Yeah. How would you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rank this movie?
I mean, in a vacuum, it's probably, I don't know, an 8 or a 9. I think for the MCU, it's got to be a 10. I mean, like compared to what they've been putting out, especially.
Oh yeah, if it was like just pure MCU, I think 10 out of 10. I think it's one of the best MCU movies.
Oh yeah.
Not just recent history. I think starting from Captain America, this is one of the best.
Yeah.
I put it top 3.
Oh sure, yeah.
I'd have to like actually do some digging, trying to figure out what I want to be my top 3, but I think it's for sure top 3, and this is not recency bias. But yeah, I agree. I think it's a 9 out of 10 in like a whole just like movie scale.
It's a really solid movie
with everything. Like I could definitely like go back and watch it over and over again. It's not like to me like Deadpool, Wolverine. I might go watch it at some point, but like it's not something I'm gonna like be like, oh, I'm bored, let me just turn this on.
Right.
Fantastic Four is one of those movies. Yeah. You know, working on homework, I'll put it on.
Or alternatively, you can listen to the score.
Yeah.
That music would be really good, like working music, because
Yeah.
it feels very optimistic. It's like, I'm gonna finish this homework.
Right. Yeah. No. My next big question is like the MCU going to be able to build on top of this? We're not. I don't want to talk rating wise, because we did
Right.
give it a 9 or 10
Yeah.
out of 10 in MCU movies. So like it's kind of like hard to build on top of
Sure.
a 10 out of 10 movie. But like obviously the next movie they already announced is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
July 31st, 2026. I'm so excited.
I can tell.
Yeah, no, I can't wait for that one. But like, do we think that they can build off of this?
I'm excited since we know that this new Spider-Man movie is going to be sort of a reset.
Yeah.
And I think that gives them a unique opportunity, like this Fantastic Four movie, to set
Exactly.
up something new. Doomsday will be, I think, concluding something, but also starting something new as well, since we know the universe is resetting. So
I've seen a lot of theories on that.
I'm hoping that since they have all these chances to start something different, that they use it. So I'm hopeful.
Yeah, which I'm interested, like, to continue on this like Spider-Man thing real quick. I'm interested to see like how they're gonna, because we've seen they've already announced like 6 or 7 villains in that movie, and people are getting upset because they're like D-level, C-level villains or street-level villains. Which
That's what Spider-Man is.
yeah, Spider-Man is a street-level hero. Obviously, in the MCU, he's been this big level threat hero. And I'm glad they're going back to the roots of him being a street hero. But also, like, if you're a true Marvel fan, you've watched the no, I don't want to gatekeep Marvel fans, but like, if you're like really into Marvel, you'd watch the Daredevil rebirth or the Daredevil series, the new Daredevil series. How like New York is like basically up for grabs on the street level. So I'm interested to see. I kind of want it to be a Sinister Six movie. I think that'd be pretty good. They kind of teased it, obviously, with No Way Home, right? But it was like 3v4 or whatever it was.
Yeah, and they already did Mysterio and Far From Home. So
Yeah, they did. Yeah, but like, I mean, Scorpion, Mr. Negative, like those guys were in. I never thought I'd see Ramrod gonna be in the movie. Like that kind of surprised me. Like Tombstone's gonna be in the movie. Like these are all characters that were part of the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
Like maybe we'll see like the Kingpin show up.
I don't know licensing wise, but you know.
Oh yeah, right. Well, because the Kingpin was in the Daredevil series.
That's true. Yeah.
Although technically, like Marvel has.
Although I think TV rights are different than film rights.
Yeah,
I heard
true.
some talk about that. But who's to say? You know, you never know. Disney can throw some money at something.
Yeah, it's Disney.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, as long as they don't ruin it.
That's the goal. The Fantastic Four First Steps is now playing in theaters. For our review of the movie, go to thecollegiatelive.com.